It's time. Alright, look. This is 100% totally different from the regular B8 bumps. It is still B8 bumps, but don't compare the grades that I do here to the grades I do on like AAA projects, such as what I did on like Dave East's album. This is more indie. This is more local. Don't compare the grades. Like, so if let's say I do Illmatic and Illmatic gets a S rank, don't and then on a local I give it also an S rank. Don't say, oh, are you equivalating that Soundcloud rapper's mixtape to Illmatic? No, that's not what I'm doing. These are totally different scales. Don't do that shit. Come here for reference. Now back to regularly scheduled programming. Today we're reviewing Dia de los Muertos from a well-known Richmond, Virginia local known as Caleb Ortiz. This is his second release, but this is also only his first official release. He recently signed to the label 10 Thou Music. It's not a very known label, so don't think like who the fuck is 10 Thou? They're their own thing. They're nice. The production on this is split between a lot of producers. If I had to pick one of my favorites of the producers on the tape, I have to give it to my man Chung Fu. That he can produce. He has nice beats, dude. He's nice. Also, that sample he did on one of the songs, he sampled Anthony Hamilton. Shit was fucking ridiculous. Fuck all that though. Get into these standout tracks. Standout track number one. Not my personal favorite on the album, but it's also really good. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't like it. I'm just saying it wasn't my personal favorite. But however, taking a step back, I listened to so many times through, and I just gotta say that "Hit the Floor" is probably the strongest song on this album. To me personally, it may not be the same for you, but I'm definitely recommending that if you want to listen to this, you go check it out. The beat was really nice. The way the ad-libs were placed, I think he did those himself, handcrafted, which was really nice. Caleb's verse was just ridiculous, and the crazy part about that is that is not the best I've heard him spit, which is just insane. Like, his verse was crazy, and that's not the best I've seen him go through, and that's just ridiculous. Also, he had a feature from CEO, who just, I mean, fucking Mike Tyson peekaboo right hook the fucking beat. Like, Jesus Christ, dude was made for that shit. His voice is crazy. Second standout track, and this one is my personal favorite. It's Elite Decima's outro. And this track, Caleb kind of takes us on a trip to like just introduce us, not like just show us what made him start taking rap seriously. Before this, I believe Caleb just did rap just to do it and wasn't really like trying to take it anywhere. But I guess after this conversation he had with my man Isaiah, decided to try to take it to another level, and that I am very appreciative for, because this man can rap. I do believe he can go places with it. Aside from all that shit though, this is a very lyrical track. It is not easy to write something like this. I think that's what a lot of people forget, that we're spoiled by how often we hear things like this, that we don't realize that this is by no means an easy feat. It's not easy to just sit down and write a whole, like a story that actually makes sense without like fucking going off on a tangent about some shit that actually happened to you. It's not easy. Just because we hear from Kendrick like every other fucking song, we get spoiled and think that, oh, this is a standard. No, this shit premium. And the third and final standout track, it's The Shine. Here's Johnny. You already know it's a solid track. This is really a good. The reason why I put it on this is a very good track to show. Like, if you want to get your friends into Caleb, I would definitely try to show them this track above the other two. Very much more than Elite Decima's outro, because if you don't know him, obviously you won't get it. But you know, This is definitely a great intro track. The beat was insane. This is a very nice testing the waters track. Like, if you don't know if you're gonna like Caleb, just put your little tippy toe in the middle of the water, and the water is the shining. If it's too hot, if it's too hot, then get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is fire. But if it's cold, you don't like it, dog. I'm pretty sure you won't like the rest of this shit. That's speculation. I could be totally wrong. Now, all those tracks were complete fire, right? But here comes my least favorite part of this video. Now we gotta go into the tracks that I disliked. I'm writing a script. It is so hard to make the struggle bar part, just because for at least for tracks like these, later on you'll see me pick out fucking like 5 songs as far as shit that I thought was garbage. But for projects like these, where there aren't that many tracks that just like stick out and like poke you in the eye and say this is bad, you know, this is the hardest part for me, because one, I liked pretty much every track on here. There were a few things where I picked out and I was like, that could be better, or that's just like, you know. And that I show that in these 2 songs that I picked out for the struggle bar list, because number 1 goes to Super Saiyan 2 Samuel's intro. Now, it's the intro, and I know the intros aren't supposed to be like the most like fire track on the album. But because I've heard better intros, and I don't think that just because it is the intro, that gives you an excuse to like put filler there or cut corners, you feel me? And at the same time, I know a lot of people might be thinking, not every intro has to be like this bar heavy, fire spitting, fucking cold 16 ass intro, you feel me? But that wasn't, this intro just wasn't even close to what it could have been, you feel me? Like, he could have spit so much better on this. That's the only problem I had with it. Once again, the production is nice. Just had a really like corner cutty vibe to it, you feel me? Another thing you may notice is that I don't really have much criticism for the struggle bars right now in this project, because there weren't that many problems, but the problems that there were big. Like on this one is WO or Woo is struggle track 2, because the hook was just, I'm not gonna say it was bad, but it definitely like killed any momentum I had going into it. Like, I can't remember what the track is before it, but I'm listening to it, I'm hype as fuck, and then I get to that one, and the hook, like, the verses were hard, don't get me wrong, I love the verses, they rap their ass off, but when it came to the hook just kind of like killed my momentum, like my hype. It could have been done better, but that's easily remedied. No disrespect to Caleb, because I mean, it just wasn't. It stopped me from bopping. You feel me? Like, I was bopping along, and then the hook came and it stopped it. I don't know what to call that, other than like just a momentum killer. You feel me? But definitely could have been better. Easily remedied. Not a big problem. Hey, but fuck the shit talking. Now let's get into the whole review. Personally, I enjoyed this project from start to finish, other than the hook and WO, which, you know, I already raised the problem about. The enjoyment factor for me really increased knowing that this is a local from Richmond, Virginia. That pushed me more to support him even more. His voice cuts through the beats really well. Like, not one time did the beat drown him out, which is a common problem you hear when you're listening to SoundCloud rappers. This sound actually like professionally done, and I love that. It doesn't sound like your average SoundCloud mixtape. I like that he's trying to take it serious now. Because I hadn't had too much bad to say, like, struggle bars are reduced. I gotta give it, you know, the BH stamp of approval. It's fire. definitely earned my support on that one. But when we're talking about just straight up grading the project, the only grade I can give it and let myself go to sleep at night knowing that I didn't dig Rod just because he's a local, and I didn't go too harsh over the few problems I had, is a flat out just regular B. B as in it was above average of your average SoundCloud rapper, but it wasn't perfect. If it had a few more issues, I'd probably take it down to a B minus, C plus around there. But it wasn't perfect, but it was above average, so I had to give it a straight B. That's the only grade I could have given it. Like I said, I really enjoyed this from start to finish. I would definitely recommend. I will have his SoundCloud and shit linked down in the description. Also, I will have the songs that I use for the transition slides in the description as well. See y'all in the next video. Side note, my nigga Caleb keep putting on for the 804. We see you, dog. Represent when you make it big. Don't forget about a nigga.